Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean, this is In The Mixer, episode 91. I know I say this all the time, but a very special, a very huge episode because it's championship playoff football for the first time. We have a chance to try and make it into the Premier League, not counting like last year's league season or whatever else. If you haven't gone back and watched the rest of the episodes from this week, go and check them out. Like, what are you doing? It's going to give you so much additional context. You're going to enjoy this particular episode a tremendous amount more. There've been twists, there've been turns, there've been ups, there've been downs. It's been all over the shop this season, but we managed to scrape our way through. You will have seen that in Friday's episode if you've gone back and checked them out. We've got two massive ties against Sheffield United. We will play them across two legs in the semi-final. We will play one of Fulham and Ipswich in the final if we make it. Regardless of what happens, I think we will watch that final. So you're going to get 3 episodes and 3 commentaries and whatever else, whether we're playing in those games or whether we're just games that we're watching and checking out and doing our season review and all that sort of stuff. It remains to be seen. Feels nice to be uploading on a Saturday though. It feels a little bit dirty, a little bit weird. Let's jump straight into the game though. Before we jump in, of course, finishing in 6th spot, just scraping our way into the playoff picture, 77 points. Sheffield finished only 3 points ahead of us on 80. It feels like a lot more than 3, but that's what it ended up being. They missed out on an automatic promotion spot on the last day. They will have been up in that second position for, I think, maybe like 5 or 6 weeks in the final few weeks of the season. They exchanged that spot with Aston Villa a few different times over the last couple of games and weeks. And a defeat, funnily enough, to Fulham on the final day of the season sealed their fate in this playoff. So they're not in great form. They are coming in off the back of a defeat. We're not exactly in fantastic form. We are unbeaten in our last 5, which is good, I guess, if you want to focus on the positive. But before that, we had a poor run of form that went really back. Like, we've had different stretches of really poor run of form throughout the course of the season. I think we're a bit settled. I think we've got a decent lineup. We do have the majority of the squad fit and available today. Again, the same limitation is the limitation we've had all throughout the season, where trying to squeeze enough homegrown players and homegrown club players into the lineup is proving difficult. But that's fine. That's one of the challenges that comes with long-term saves such as this one. So both first legs are going to kick off at the same time. The Ipswich-Fulham match will play at Ipswich's home ground at the same time. We'll see how that first leg goes for them after the fact. Looking at the preview here, we're in strong form. They're in inconsistent form. 3 defeats in their last 5, though they did have 2 decent wins during that period as well. Absolutely belting Stoke, and a good win, I think, against Derby to start off that particular run. Of the previous 4 times we've played, we've drawn 3 of those fixtures. We've won 1 of them. They are yet to defeat us. And I think I've got a pretty good record against Gary Neville, who's the current Sheffield United manager as well. Charlie Davies is out, but that's fine. He hasn't played for us in months anyway. And Philippe Vizou is the only change for them. 5,460 tickets sold. It's expected to be a sellout. We do still have a relatively small stadium. That's something that we'll look at once we have that TV cash from the Premier League. But this is the lineup that we're going to go with. Kubas, of course, in goal. Escobar and Mohamed Dilapor as the central defenders. Hernandez and Trueblood as the wing backs. Hussein and Madrigal in midfield. Benitzi at the 10. Ramirez on the left wing. Petrovic on the right. Camara up top. Ramirez did get sent off last time I gave him a start, and he was injured for a while before that. But I'm hopeful we have enough about us to just kind of get beyond that today. Are we under the same homegrown rules, I wonder? Maybe we should try that and see who can we try and drop in there. We need another striker. Yeah, we might try and submit this side and see how it goes with a mixed bench instead of having to have the homegrown players on there. But if we do, that's fine. We can rotate around pretty easily and get everyone on the park. You can see a lot of our relationships still not fully formed despite players playing the majority of the season together. Mohamed Dilapor was the last player to really come in. Kamara came in January. But I'm not sure why these wing-back roles haven't necessarily clicked the way that we wanted them to throughout the course of the year. We're going to give everyone an opportunity to do that. We're going to go attacking at home. Oh, here we go. The English squad must have 7 players trained by a club. Okay, so I can't do that. We'll get Taylor back in there. We'll get Wademan back on there. We'll get Granger back in there as well. Everyone seems relatively happy with that. Luciano Ramirez working his way back from injury and suspension, struggling for a little bit of match sharpness, but on his day, he's been our best player this season. They're playing a 4-4-1-1. We've previewed Hansen before, a very good goalkeeper. Timothy Fosu-Mensah still in the squad. Salisu, the central defender, a good player. Alex Garcia, we've come up against a bunch of times. Back when he was at Luton in League One, and now, of course, with Sheffield United in the Championship. A very good player, comes through the Villarreal Academy. He is with Girona over in Spain at the start of everyone's saves. Mutombo, who's they're going to play at the 10, looks solid. 16 first touch, 21-year-old Congolese international on loan from Olympique Lyon. 32 caps and 17 goals for the Congo, which is very interesting for a player still only 21 years of age. He looks to be a decent prospect. And Balogun, Folarin Balogun, who is one of the young players coming through at Arsenal, very good player, a very good US international. If you pick him up early in your save, he is a decent player at a championship Premier Division level. They've got some players, they've got some ability about them. We don't really know what sort of form they're coming into this one with, but assertively we're going to say Sheffield have lost 3 of the last 5 games. I expect us to pile on them miserably. That hasn't gotten the response I want, so we're going to assertively tell everyone we've got faith in them. And we are set to attacking. We are going to go after it. We are going to try and get a good result at home and then try and defend a little bit away from home. First highlight we've seen, it's a ball forward from Fosu-Mensah from this throw-in. Maynard, reverse pass to McGowan. He's beaten one. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. Square ball to Balogun, back to goal though. Good tackle. Madrigal manages to win it back and sends Kamara up the line. He's got the pace to get beyond him if he can get goal side here. Oh, and he gets a strike away. Good save from Hansen. Maybe could have looked for a corner a little bit there. It was kind of just going for pace and power rather than... True Blood's taking corners. I don't know why. The game just randomly does this. And then I reload our set pieces and he's back in there again. So let's fix that. Oh, I actually can't fix it in the game, can I? Or set piece takers, can I adjust that? Okay, I can adjust it for Petrovic and Dorba to take them when they're on the park, and that will hopefully keep Andy Trueblood off it. Otherwise, we're going to end up 1v1 at the back, and that's not what we want to see from set piece scenarios. Garcia's picked up a yellow card. It seems a relatively tense affair in the opening 20 minutes for both sides. Goal kick here, Kubis to take, forward to Mohamed Dilipur. Now Trueblood comes forward, plays a square ball across midfield. Dangerous spot to try and lose it, but Madrigal does well to save and plays it out right to Petrovic. His ball back inside the middle is poor, given away in a bad area. Mutombo comes forward, ball into Maynard. Now McGowan, ball over the top of Fosu-Mensah, the overlapping fullback, made a good run. Hernandez closes him down. Mutombo clips it, and then Escobar, thankfully, scrambles away. Mutombo rose amongst the sea defenders there, put it against the post, and then thankfully we got rid of it. Mohamed Dilipur is just really poor out of the air, I think I'm finding. Good on the deck, good playing the ball out from the back, but yeah, just really poor in crossing situations, which isn't ideal for our championship football. A lot of teams try and get it wide and whip it back in. Ashton beats a couple, and then his drive never looked like challenging, just beyond the far post though. Through 35 minutes now, we're going to use our demand more shout, give everyone some focus through to half time. Throw in deep here for Sheffield. Fosu-Mensah's coming forward, no one's challenging. Goes for the crossfield switch. It's with Salisu, then Garcia. Mena, Garcia again at the base of midfield. Looks out right, but Petrovic can only flick it back to Sheffield United's advantage. Benitez recovers the ball in a good position. Escobar looks forward to Ramirez, who does quite well in traffic to bring it down. Ball forward to Kamara now. He's not got much of an angle to work with. Goes the strike anyway. Hansen's good save, forces it over the crossbar. Probably didn't need him to take that one on. Didn't have any angle to work with. Mohamed Dilipur, Petrovic, it's flicked on back stick, and his highlight comes to an end. Throw in right-hand side. Fosu-Mensah takes. Madrigal won it back in a good area. Ball forward for Kamara, but it's won back and played back to Hansen in the Sheffield goal. Salisu looks for the switch. Hernandez should recover, and does. Escobar, long ball forward. Salisu's gone through... I thought he might have given the foul away there, but instead they've recovered and played a ball over the top of Balogun. Wonderful save from Kubis. Does very well. Comes out, makes himself big, gets a little dive into his left, forces it out for the corner. Garcia's going to take now. Backstick runners there. Salisu at the back post, thankfully over the crossbar. I think the keeper had it covered regardless. All right, we haven't exactly been on top here. It's a little bit more tense than I thought. Assertively, I'm going to say I'm happy with the performance so far, but let's maybe drop back to our positive structure and just see if playing a little bit deeper, a little bit more on the back foot, helps us get a bit more concerted possession and a few more highlights. 0-0 doesn't kill us. It doesn't leave us dead in the water or anything, but we would like to try and get some sort of advantage to defend in the second leg. We're through an hour now. A couple of players seem to be struggling. Petrovic hasn't played particularly well. We'll bring on Dorba. Ramirez hasn't played particularly well. We'll bring on Reali. So it's straight swap for the two wingers. And I might hold on to that last sub. Actually, no, let's make the change. Let's move Hosseini to the Mazzara role and play Franz Wolf as the defensive one. Let's go for break. We've got 30 minutes to try and find something in this match. And I'd rather, like I said, go down swinging. It's what we did that got us to the playoffs. Let's go down swinging here in this one as well. Highlight here, Dorba, square ball to Kamara. He's managed to hit the defence. It comes back out via the Wolf. True bloke to maybe beat the man. Instead he tries to cross from deep and it's closed down by the Sheffield defence. 10 minutes remain. Let's use our get creative shout. Let's go to attacking. Last 10 minutes. They've got a throw in here. Salisu sends it down the line. The Wolf should recover and has time to turn. Get your head up, Franz. He's gone forward to Trueblood, who similarly can turn. It looks like Sheffield have dropped off a little bit in terms of where they're pressing the ball. Dorba comes forward. Plays back to the Wolf. Good touch from him in midfield. Just consistently keeps the ball. Beats one challenge. Ball over to the left to Reali. Gets the strike back across. Maybe could have looked to try and get to the byline and square it back up, but Hansen watches it sail over the crossbar. Trueblood really struggling for conditioning in this one. I didn't really notice that when I made the subs. 5 minutes of additional time. Let's use demand more as well. Is there any late drama here to try and find a winner for either side? No, we're through it. It's a boring 0-0 draw. 10 shots, 3 on target, 59% possession. They had 13, 5, and 41. We definitely came back into it a little bit in the second half, but just really lacked that cutting edge. Assertively, you're unlucky today. Let's go with that. And no one's responded particularly positively or negatively. I guess I'll take it. A 0-0 draw in the other game as well, Ipswich and Fulham, so all to play for in the second leg for them. Let's do this post-match press conference. Even the best players have bad days at the office. Tim Kubis is fantastic, and our style is comfortable. Who's going to win the Player of the Year? Are any of my players nominated? No, it doesn't look like it. They're going with Ricky Puig. I'll go along with the media expectation. Aston Villa were a good side. They won. Oh, they got that second promotion spot. Actually, I should have voted for someone from Blackburn. Only 4 days till the next one. I'm going to use a rest day because I'm addicted to using rest days in Football Manager 2020. And we're also going to switch up, go to our positive mentality and tactic from the off. We are playing away from home. We don't want to go too cavalier. Otherwise, I'm going to try and go with the same lineup again, even though they didn't perform particularly well. Andy Trueblood really struggling for conditioning. Not sure why. Right, so a little bit further forward now. Again, 0-0 draws in both games, so nothing really interesting in terms of like overcoming deficits or anything like that. It will straight up be who wins these games goes through. We're going with an unchanged lineup. We're switching to our positive mentality. Everyone seems in relatively okay form. Most are comfortable in their positions and requested roles as well. Unchanged bench as well. We'll continue to get DeVargas on there as a backup striker. And I'm basically just going to take the attitude of like rolling the dice, seeing how we go in this one. If we get to a point and players aren't performing, don't have good match ratings, we're just going to take them off regardless of who it is. They've made a couple of changes. They've brought in, Fosu-Mensah moves to left back. Civic comes in at right back. Looks okay, nothing spectacular. They might be struggling for a little bit more fitness than we are. Janicevic, their leading assist maker. I don't think he played in the first game. Serbian right winger that they picked up from Partizan Belgrade via Red Star Belgrade. Paok over in Greece. Stoke as well. Looks okay. And is this Biesa or Blesa? I'm guessing a Spanish youth international by the kit that he's wearing in the Facepack. Villarreal player. Been at Sheffield United for a current couple of seasons. I didn't know he was their captain. I don't think he played in the last game either. So I think they've rotated quite a bit. Salisu drops out, McGowan, Mena. Garcia doesn't even make the squad. And for us, we are unchanged. I hope I've paid enough attention to everybody's condition. Assertively, we're going to say, let's passionately say, media have given a lot of credit lately. That seems to consistently work. Let's passionately tell Camara that we have faith in him as well. Not the best weather for football. That's fine. We're going to figure it out. Nothing we can do about the weather. And yeah, our conditioning's okay. Everyone's over 90. Trueblood at 89 is the lowest. He's got the throw in now. Speak of the devil. Hosseini, deep ball across. It's headed away by Bull. Long clearance towards Balogun. Just stand him up, boys. Don't overcommit. Thankfully, he's dry from the edge of the area. Only side netting. And Kubis, I think, had it covered. 20 minutes in. Tense again. We've had 2 shots, 2 on target, and 59% possession. But no highlights to speak of. Just that one for Sheffield hitting side netting. We're nearly through the first half as well. We're going to demand more here. Just give everyone some focus through to half-time. If we get into half-time at 0-0, I think we'll be doing okay. Longer this game goes, the more Sheffield have to come out and try and score. But they have got a corner here. It's pinballing around, and Balogun's put it forward for the back of the net. Put it forward from the top of the box. Finds the back of the net. 5th goal of the season for him. That's a pretty poor return rate from a team that finished 3rd. Janicevic with the ball in, and it's headed away, and then Bull knocks it down. Balogun, first time of asking. Kubis can get a hand on it, but he didn't have much of an angle to work with. He did well to get there in the first place. And I guess 1-0 down at half-time. They've had 6 shots, 2 on target, 41% of the ball. We've had 2-2 and 59. Really only one thing for it. Aggressively, show me something else in the second half. And tactically, let's just go attacking. If we're going to go down, let's go down swinging. As far as match ratings are concerned, Benitez struggling, Trueblood, Ramirez, Madrigal, too many to mention really. So the worst thing we could do is change the mentality up, get it on the front foot a little bit, and see how we get on. We might go all-out attack or hell for leather for the last 30 minutes here if we don't see any highlights come through in the next few minutes. There's one now, long ball forward. Balogun brings it down under next to no pressure. Blesser finds Batten on the left wing, played out to Fosu-Mensah, who's going to want to get back on his right foot. Clearance is poor. Madrigal's missed a header as well, and Goodwin Watts with a drive from the edge of the area. All right, we're through. We've got 30 minutes remaining. What can we do here? Average ratings are not great, so Wademan will come on. Camara's not played well, so DeVargas will come on. Trueblood's not played well. Do I want to make that change, or do I want to try and bring the Wolf on in midfield? I think I want to try and bring the Wolf on in midfield more than change up our right back. We are going to push both of these players to complete wing backs on support. They're going to go flying further forward. Sani can play as a deep line midfielder on support. The Wolf can play him as a Messiah. We're going to set the wingers to attack. and the advanced playmaker to attack. If we're going down, lads, we're going down, trying to throw everything at them that we can. Passionately, I have faith in you. Get out there, make a difference, and let's also use our Get Creative shout. Got 30 minutes to try and find an equaliser here, keep our season alive, and the clock is just our enemy at the moment. Yefimov, deep free kick. It's pinballing around, and we've given away a penalty. Mohamed Dilipur has just been... He's a good player, but he's just been such a pain in the arse. I think I'm going to sell him. I think this is, if this finds the back of the net, which it does, I think that's the final nail in his coffin that's probably a bit dark. I think that's a final nail in his career. Final note in his career, that's a better way of saying it. That's not quite as murdery. Balogun, straight down the middle. I can't blame Kubis. Kubis has been immense for us all season. And I guess the thing that we can focus on is that the majority of our starting lineup are 18 or 19 years of age. They've got more football in them. They're going to be well positioned to do quite well at a championship level next season as well. True Blood switches it out to the Wolf. Now Escobar. Now to Hernandez. Get forward. Just hop on your bike. Go for a run. We've got nothing to lose now. We're 2-0 down. Hernandez going on a decent run here. Leaves one man in the dust. Squares it back up to the Wolf. Ball back stick for Petrovic. It's a wonderful save from Hansen. Not just to get down to it, but also force it out for the corner kick. Resulting corner is very poor. Mena's going to come forward for Sheffield. The highlight here continues. Someone's got to step to him. Hosseini brings him down and picks up a yellow card. 10 minutes remain. Let's use Get Creative again, because why not? Everyone seems inspired. Let's just get a consolation goal. Let's just make it interesting. If switching the other game up 2-0, 3 minutes to be added on here. One more corner routine. True Blood to take. And we've managed to put it away. Escobar with the goal. It's very, very late. If we're going to try and find an equaliser here, it is going to be shades of Manchester United against Bayern Munich in 1999. There's not a lot of time for us to win the ball back, though, and try and get the ball forward, and we don't even get to see a final highlight. Referee calls full time. It's a 2-1 defeat, but there's a lot to be proud about. 12 shots, 6 on target, 41% possession for Sheffield, 7, 6, and 59% for us. I'm going to passionately say, despite the result, I'm pleased with your performance out there, and everybody seems pretty happy with that. It does bring the curtain down on our season, which is disappointing. We will jump forward and check out the playoff final, which is going to be Ipswich versus Sheffield United. Balogun, 2 goals, gets the Man of the Match award. And I'm just going to go and say everybody is great. Everyone's happy. And let's clear this out. We've got a lot of work to do with this off-season, I think. And there's also some players down here in the under-23s we're going to have to make decisions about as well. Let's put everybody back up into the regular squad. And we'll go through and have a look at who we're going to keep, who we're going to get rid of. There's a lot of players here that are still high potential that I want to try and keep hold of. There's a lot of players as well who have dropped off quite a bit over the last 12 months or so. So we've got some big questions that we need to answer over the next period. So Sheffield drawn against Ipswich. We will go and watch this game if we can, if I'm allowed. And it might be for the best that we didn't make it, because we've got 5 players that have just been called up for international duty. It would have been difficult to try and get into the actual playoff final with half the squad missing. Is this going to work for me? I don't know if it's going to let me do it. We might as well just jump forward then and see what the result is. We've got our initial budgets for next season. It's 96k per week, which isn't great, and 707k, which is just very disappointing and frustrating. So we don't get any increase to our finances and what we have to work with. We do already have some new faces showing up. You guys will meet them in the next episode, but that's quite annoying. It does mean we'd have to sell if we want to try and bring anybody in, which I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. Okay, all these season awards have come through now as well. Fans Player of the Season, Ramirez won it with 38% of the vote. Hosseini and Benitzi coming behind them. Goal of the Season, Benitzi. I think this was a strike that we actually had in an episode. A very good effort from the edge of the area, if I remember correctly. And it actually won him the Goal of the Month for the league as well. Yeah, I think this is the right one. Hosseini just finds him just inside the box here. He turns in and then smacks his foot around it. And it's a lovely curling effort. It's not the greatest angle, but a lovely curling effort around the goalkeeper into the far corner. In a good 2-0 win, signing of the season, Ramirez from Arsenal, young player of the season, Camara, our leading scorer. Interestingly, our team of the season for the fans is pretty much the one that we were picking week in, week out. I would have thought maybe Mohamed Dilipur, Hernandez, Petrovic, Madrigal, Camara, the guys that didn't necessarily play the entire season might struggle, but they've all made it. Club vision, they expect us to avoid a relegation battle for next year. Squad dynamics are relatively the same. End of season, let's just say, assertively. Assertively, we'll do well to avoid relegation. We've done well to avoid relegation. We'll just as well do make sure we aren't involved in a battle to do so next season. Everyone's responded positively, which is great. We've got a training camp destination. Where can we go? Let's go up to Scotland. Let's play some of the Scottish sides. Right, and in the end, it was Ipswich who won 2-0 and beating Sheffield United in the playoff final. They've had a phenomenal second half of the season. Absolutely leathering teams left, right, and centre. So they will be the other team to go up, which means Sheffield drop back into our division again. And I'm sure they'll be looking to have a tilt, as will Fulham, as will West Brom, Swansea. A lot of the other sides are in and around the promotion spots this season as well. We're going to see any end of season awards? Okay, I don't think we're going to see them. So 6th is the highest finish that we've ever had as a club. Our previous best was 16th. Next year, we're finishing top. World Cup squads have been named. There's a couple of players. Okay, David Wang made it, who we had a couple of seasons ago back in like League 2, League 1. He's playing with China. And we've got 3 players going to the World Cup. Mohamed Hosseini and Mohamed Dilipur will play for Iran. And George Madrigal will play for the Costa Rican side. Any of them in the starting lineup? Madrigal's in the squad. And both Hosseini and Mohamed Dilipur are both in the starting lineup for Iran. That's going to be very interesting to see how they get on. But it will be an episode for next week, I think. Might have a 2-day gap. We might not do an episode on Monday. We might just come back to episode 92, go through all of our off-season signings, the new squad, introducing the players, all that sort of great stuff that comes at the start of a new season. As always, guys, I've just realised this says episode 9, so we're going to fix this right now. Episode 91. It's not wide. Is it not wide enough? Why isn't that showing? There we go. That looks a little bit more professional, doesn't it? Thank you to everyone who's watched and continued support series. I appreciate it transferring out. Not the result we wanted from the playoffs, but I think just getting to the playoffs is a tremendous achievement for the club as we continue to grow, continue to develop a little bit further. But I appreciate the most is you guys watching along with me. So thank you as always. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.